Soldiers of Reddit. What was something that was so funny even the drill sergeant couldn't help but giggle? You have about 30 seconds to unfuck yourself starting 28 seconds ago. I don't know if that was an old saying amongst all of them or he made it up on the spot, but goddamn did I almost fucking lose it. OMG, I have the best story for this. Basic training. Some dude was getting a reprimand from the course officer because he was a bag of fail. He got briefed by the platoon sergeant beforehand to march to the door, salute the officer, and wait to be instructed what to do. But this guy was as dumb as a brick, so he marches to the door, and stands there looking stupid. The sergeant waits a good long while hoping this kid will clue in, and nothing happens. Finally he yells at him, "Well, aren't you going to pay compliments to the officer?" And numpty stammers for a bit and finally chirps out, "You're looking really nice today, sir." Sergeant yells at him to GTFO, and slams the door and the entire course staff nearly die from laughter. It took an hour for us to stop laughing long enough to call him back and actually give him the reprimand. I was on the floor with tears in my eyes. 4 years afterwards, anytime we would see that officer we would stop him to tell him he was looking nice. It never stopped being funny. From a friend at air assault. They were fast roping down off towers and there was one guy that was deathly afraid of heights but was still making his way to pass, and he was just standing there and the instructor yells something along the lines of "Stop being a pussy and go." He proceeds to jump into the rope, lose his grip and fall the entire way down while screaming air assault until he hit the ground. He broke his arm and had to go with the next class. Someone in basic threw their half-eaten schnitzel into the toilet and tried to flush it. It didn't flush. He left, so we are all in our rooms as we hear one of our drills scream to get out and line up. We line up and he was one of the super serious guys, 190 meters tall, easily 100 kilograms of pure muscle and always mean mugging everyone. He starts screaming at us telling us that we are pigs. No one knew what went on. Then he started yelling someone threw a fucking schnitzel into the toilet. As he finished he started smiling. First time in months I saw the dude smile. Everyone started laughing hard. He got angry again and started repeating himself. He starts laughing once he hits the schnitzel part again. We all laugh again. He just tells us we are dumbasses and someone better fish that piece of schnitzel out ASAP. Well, one time when I was in basic training, my petty officer was going around asking questions to people. If you got it wrong, everyone had to do push-ups. If you got it right, he just moved on to the next person. I was in panic mode because all the questions before now had been really difficult, or maybe I was just stupid. In retrospect, I'm inclined to believe the latter. Anyway, my turn came up and the interaction went as follows. Petty officer, Dandy Lou, what is the Navy's birthday? Me, ecstatic because this is one of the few bits of trivia my brain had decided to retain. Relieved. So, the 13th of October. So, petty officer, what year? Me, without missing a beat, every year. So, the room was quiet for a moment as a horror sank in. Everyone laughed at me. The petty officer laughed at me. Not a mocking laughter, but a sincere, "Oh my god, I can't believe you're this stupid" kind of laughter. I wanted to die. I had to do a lot of push-ups. Edit, guys, this isn't verbatim. This was over a decade ago. I didn't stay in basic training longer than 4 weeks. I got sent home for a medical issue. I retained like nothing from the military, so I'm not denying the verbiage is probably wrong. I get it. Navy Boot Camp 2008. We had a big Samoan guy in our division who loved singing Disney songs. This dude started singing A Whole New World in a shower with 80 other dudes and all of us started singing along. I can remember our RDC just shaking his head and grinning. A master corporal was calling drill for us once and his voice cracked on the command. So he went from yelling in his normal kind of deep voice, he was a big dude, to a loud shrill dude impersonating a woman kind of voice. Everyone took a second but the other instructors for our platoon cracked and everyone just kind of laughed. Dude was told he couldn't trim his unibrow. If he did he'd have to shave both eyebrows as well. So that's what dude did. Shaved it all. DS lost it laughing and then made the private report every morning to have them sharpied on with a new expression every day added. The best ones were when he was given 2 squares as eyebrows or a constant surprised look and thanks for my first gold. I shall name him Philip. Not exactly a drill sergeant, but during basic training we were marching in formation when we suddenly hear a thump. Turns out one of our comrades dropped his helmet. Of course our instructor saw this and responds with "Ein deutscher Helm fällt nur einmal," a German helmet is only dropped once, pretty common military textbook phrase. He commands the soldier to pick up his helmet and we carry on marching. About 30 seconds later we hear the same sound again. So I turn around and ask myself how you can possibly fail the simple task of helmet retention. You basically just clip it to your carry rig, while already waiting to hear the instructor saying the same phrase again. What do I see? Our instructor turning around, doing his personal walk of shame and picking up his helmet. Let's just say we weren't short on beer when we celebrated the end of basic. Bay Inspection Day. The company first SGT and commander are going through each platoon's bay and checking everyone's shit and casually grilling the recruits on the base's command tree. Our company first SGT goes to our platoon leader and asks him what position does Command Sergeant Major insert name hold in this base? It's a trick question, the answer simply being Command Sergeant Major. Anyways, the platoon leader hesitates before belting out something extremely retarded. I don't remember verbatim, but it was something similar to Command Sergeant Major insert name as the Star Commander Leader Chief of Fort Benning, First Sergeant. Everyone freezes. Even the drill sergeants don't even breathe. The company first SGT stares at this guy for like 20 seconds before muttering loudly, "You fucking retard," and shakes his head and leaves the bay. Doesn't even punish him. Even the DS is laughing and calling him a fucking dumbass. Was pretty excellent and everyone broke out laughing when they left. Not a soldier but an airman. Hopefully you still like the story. We are out on the pad standing in formation waiting for breakfast just like any other BMT morning. We are at the end of our training so the MTIs tend to not harass you as much in your last week or so at basic. Our MTI has a doctor's appointment or something so he has a female MTI in the squadron we have seen from time to time watch us while he is gone. So she takes us all from parade dress to attention and addresses the dorm chief, lead trainee position in the flight. He lets out the fatal response of "yes sir" to whatever the fuck she said to him. She's a petite athletic looking redhead and would not be mistaken for a sir. She gets right in his face as it leaves his mouth and starting yelling, "Ah! You make me so mad I just want to whip out my dick and slap you across the face with it." I fired on. There were 3 other flights with like 20-40 trainees each including their MTIs immediately dying laughing. Even she only held it together for a few seconds of being angry red in the face before laughing. I think you would get in some serious trouble these days yelling great lines like that. Marino CS. I was that candidate. We were doing night land nav in the rain. If we wanted to look at our list of bearings, we had to huddle inside our poncho with a red light to maintain light discipline. I checked for the next bearing I was supposed to follow, then popped my head back out. Well, one of the staff had appeared out of the corner of my eye, and my glasses were fogged with water so I didn't recognize who it was. They looked short, and we had a female captain in the command staff, so I said "good evening ma'am." The male gunnery sergeant responded with "are you stupid candidate?" Luckily we were in the middle of a training exercise. Navy boot camp in Orlando, Florida in August of 1989. The company was split up in 2, on either side of the center line facing the front of the bay. Our company commander had us doing 4-count jumping jacks where we all had to clap on the 2nd and 4th together. It had to sound like one clap. There were 68 of us and even though we struggled, all of us eventually got it. Well, all of us but one. This poor guy just could not clap with the rest of us. He was eventually pulled up to the front of the bay where he would lead the exercise. At the last second, every time, he would change his pace and ruin it. The company commander smiled throughout and eventually just keeled over laughing at this guy. It's funny though that I don't remember being angry even though we must have been doing jumping jacks for about 3 hours in 100-degree heat. I do remember that the only reason we quit was because the cement floor was too slippery with sweat to safely continue. Make sure to like the video if you enjoyed it and please consider subscribing to the channel for more of my pleasant voice.